All right. Well, welcome to 5 Reasons to Bet. Oh, there's something that's supposed to go there. All right. Welcome to 5 Reasons to Bet. Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at Ethan J. Skolnick or at 5 Reasons Sports. The account is back, by the way. We've got our guy, JRod, Jim Rodriguez. You can follow him at JRod Show. We're going to go to some NBA conversation here from the very beginning, the strangest of seasons, which everybody all of a sudden is trying to throw a big asterisk on. I've been doing that for the past few months, a little bit late to the party here. Last night we saw that the Bucks staved off elimination, beat the Nets, sent that to a Game 7. I sort of felt like the Nets were kind of saving a little energy for Game 7 at home anyway. But let's get to some of the updated odds. We've talked about how this is changing so much day to day. I mean, who do you even like at this point?
Well, it's funny. Fresh off the printer here is the updated NBA championships. The Nets are still the favorite. And, you can shop around depending on where you want to go, but they're better than 2-1, plus 220. The Suns, 2.5-1, are the second favorite. But what's gotten to me is that the Hawks, who at one point were 60, 100-1 to win the NBA title, are now 18-1 to win the NBA championship. Wow. I still think that your Bucks, 4.5-1, and then you've got the Jazz and the Clippers at 7-1, and then the Sixers, all of a sudden 11-1 to win the NBA championship. I still think it's a Suns-Nets finals that we're going to see. That's what I think. It's a little chalky, but pretty good odds still you can get there. It depends on where you go and you shop around a little bit.
It's crazy to say that the Suns are chalky. This is an organization that hasn't won a damn thing in like 15 years. But they do look like the most complete team, again, provided that the COVID issue with Chris Paul doesn't keep him out a long time. There's no clarity on that. There's no clarity on Kawhi Leonard's injury right now. There's no clarity on Mike Conley's injury right now. There's no clarity on Kyrie Irving's injury right now. I mean, this has got to be, Jim, like the worst possible scenario for a bettor, unless you're just somebody who just throws bleep at the wall and hopes to get lucky, right? Like,
that's why you got to go with trends.
Postseason's gone.
Yeah, I mean, that's why to me you got to go with trends. Despite those huge upsets by the Clippers and the Hawks the last time out, we did okay because we bet first halves. We didn't. I stayed away from the total. First of all, I thought the totals were too big. We had the Sixers winning the first half, which they did. We had the Jazz winning the first half, what they did. So you just got to kind of finesse it a little bit, find out what's trendy, what's popular, and also kind of using your head in terms of like, are they going to get off to a fast start? Is this team going to shoot more threes, more player props and stuff? I stay away from anything over 7 points. I usually stay away from it, especially in the postseason. It's a little bit more bunched up now. Like tonight's line, you've got the Sixers -3 in Atlanta. The way the Hawks are playing, you got to remember, again, checking trends. The Hawks were the second best team at home against the spread in the regular season. And in the playoffs, they're 70% against the spread at home. It kind of makes me want to take the Hawks getting the 3 points. Plus, I think Philly up here is a mess. I think Doc Rivers, the specter of Doc Rivers. And by the way, wouldn't it be ironic, all our writers out there, that Doc Rivers gets bounced on the same night the Clippers finally get over the hump and get to the Western Conference Finals? That's Doc Rivers' team's going to Doc Rivers. So I'm going to take Atlanta getting the 3 points tonight. But if you really want to get some value, if you think the Hawks are going to win the game outright, it's better than even money. It's plus 135 to take the Hawks money line. It's minus 110 because you're getting those 3 points. Might be worth it either way. I think the Hawks win the game outright. I think the Philly's a mess right now. Wow. And I think the Hawks win.
And you've been a Philly guy, and I've been a Bucks guy.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in the Bucks right now. I just don't. I look. Middleton carried him over the finish line in this last one, and Giannis was great early, but I don't know. I still feel it comes down to a fourth quarter, and I'm going to put the ball in Durant's hands and kind of see what happens there. I feel like that's where this is headed.
Yeah, essentially, it's a pick'em. Essentially, for Game 7, the Nets are laying 1 point, which essentially is a pick'em. And Game 7, you always got to go with the home team, right? I mean, that's at least before you do any sort of studying immediately. The Nets, despite their injuries, because they got KD, man. He turns it on. We saw what he could do. I just hope we get a great showdown. Maybe not one-on-one, but in terms of a Giannis and KD putting on their display and having it come down to a final shot. That would be great for a Game 7.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. All right, such a weird NBA season.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week. We'll sort of see
But
where
we got
everything
Clippers
is.
too. I got a little
Go
Clippers
ahead.
info for you. I got a little Clippers
Oh.
information.
I forgot. Go ahead.
Clippers at home in a possible clincher, getting 1.5 points. Listen, I think the Clippers are terrible. The Clippers always find a way, but Doc's out of the mix. Ty Lue won a damn championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think there's some magic there. I think Paul George is going to remind us.
Yeah.
I think Paul George is going to remind us that he was a pretty damn good player. I hate to say this, I like the Clippers getting the 1.5, but here's what I really like. Clippers over 109.5. I like that. Clippers money line, better than even money, plus 105. Donovan Mitchell, he's all by himself. They don't have any depth. The Clippers have, if not one thing, they have depth. I hate to do it. I'm going to take the Clippers tonight. And there's no Doc.
I took them in the fifth game, but I think the Jazz extend the series. I think the Jazz extend the series.
Clippers going to clip.
I'm going Utah. But
Clippers going to clip.
But again, I hate to say this. This is a betting program. I don't know, man. I just don't know anymore. We're headed for a Hawks-Suns final, okay? Who the hell predicted that? I mean, that's mostly because
it's better than a Milwaukee
had to play in the playoffs last year, so they got extended breaks.
Milwaukee-Utah final? Are there any flights from Milwaukee to Salt Lake City?
That's where every writer opts out. But again, most of the writers aren't going anyway because of COVID and everything's on.
That's right.
Anyway. All right, JRod, follow him at JRod Show. Ethan J. Skolnick, 5 Reasons Sports. We'll be back on Monday to tell you why the Cavaliers are going to win the 2021-2022 championship.
I like that.